I started doing THC and CBD, well, more specifically THC, back in 2023 during the summer. You know, I was over there, all the way over there, out towards UMass. You know, I was with a couple of friends. You know, we smoked a joint, and I think we had some edible cookies afterwards. And me and my friend, we literally walked all the way from out there, all the way down there to that park over there. And me and her just sat there, not speaking for a good few moments, because me and her were both zooted as heck. But me and her fell in love with it ever since. We fell in love with THC ever since then. And honestly, THC and CBD, which is another compound similar to THC, but it's a non-psychoactive compound, and THC is more of a psychoactive compound in the cannabis plant. But those two in particular, they do help with mental and physical health relieving. They obviously relieve pain. They help you sleep better at night. You know, it will grant you literally just pure peace, honestly. And it's so good that it's pretty much indescribable to me, honestly. It's literally that good. Now, I ain't encouraging anybody to smoke any or to take any gummies or anything. I'm not encouraging it, nor am I telling anybody to do it. But if curiosity does hit you by nature, which it does, there'll be times where I literally be curious to try something out. I try it, but then I don't like it, and then I don't do it anymore. But like I said, a lot of stuff are different. So if curiosity does get you, and you do indeed want to try some THC or smoking weed, only try it in low doses. That's what I recommend. Try it first in lower doses, because that is when you'll be able to, to just get the feel of it first. You're kind of poking at it, very lightly, and then you'll gradually, start feeling it at some point. But at the end of the day, it's not meant to harm in any way. It's supposed to be more for relief. More for relief, sleep relief, appetite increase or appetite stimulant, just literally, and once I've done the research on what THC and CBD are, and once I've, found out the benefits between the both and the differences, I know now. And it's really good to know. But at the same time, you also got to understand it too. And believe me, I do. There may be some stuff that I probably may not still understand, and I can obviously do more research about it or even ask, but I know there are stuff that I'm still learning about every day. Like I told y'all in the previous video, I'm learning about stuff every freaking day. I'm not claiming to know a lot. I'm not claiming to know everything. Like I said, I'm still learning day by day. Just by doing research or just by hearing stuff from other people's perspective, not just my own. So yeah, that's literally it right there. And like I said, I'm pretty sure the whole point of this video is basically letting you guys know when I first started smoking weed and doing THC. And it's not me encouraging it, and it's not me telling anybody to do it. It's just, if curiosity does get the better of you, though, if it does, and you do indeed are wondering how THC truly is, then only try it in low doses. And if you still don't feel satisfied of it and whatnot, then you don't have to do it any freaking more. But at the end of the day, it's anybody's choice if they want to do this and do that. If they don't want to, then they don't want to. Even if they try it and they say they don't like it later, it is what it is. Everyone's different. But however, though, like I said, curiosity exists, though. I kept repeating this over and over and over again. Curiosity exists. And it can get so intense where it will potentially draw you in. And it'll be like, like, I actually want to try it. I want to see how it really is. You know, like, I want to see how it really feels. So it will lure you in because of your curiosity. Curiosity is a real freaking thing. And when you're lured into something, you're generally either interested. Well, interested is more of a proper word to put it. Not just curious, but interested. But yeah, but believe me, that exists. And all I can say is that weed, THC, CBD, that is meant as a reliever for mental and physical health. Literally a reliever. Not a cure, but a reliever. It's more just to relieve pain, aid sleep, helps with appetite, it helps with inflammation and all of that. It basically relieves all of that, or it kind of just slows, all of that down. And it truly works. It truly works. But at the end of the day, everyone's different. I think I may have repeated myself more times than I should have in this video, so this more than likely is going to have to be a part 2 a little bit, but hopefully that video won't be as long as this one. It's more than likely going to, but I'm going to try to at least do some more proper research so that way I can better explain it. But until I do, I'd rather I just get this out, let y'all know when I started smoking weed and why I still smoke it and why others still do it to this day. It's not just to get stoned and feel good. It's way deeper than that, literally. And if you were to believe it like that, especially if you're a spiritual person, and the fact that you're smoking weed and THC on top of that, that's literally going to make you more of a spiritual person. But you're more wise, you have more common sense, you're more at ease, you're more at peace, you're more mindful. Everything around you just seems more funny, basically. And you're basically just having more of a good time, basically. And then at the end, at night, when you're completely out of it and you're tired, you can probably smoke, like a joint or two for you to, ease down and completely just fall asleep afterwards. And literally, this will actually be a part 2, actually. This will be a part 2. Because I want to explain to y'all, the 3 main strains of that. So that's a preview. So stay tuned for that. But I figured I'd just give y'all this, just to, give you a little bit of insight on why I do THC and CBD. And why I'm basically and kind of saying, for somebody or for people who don't smoke weed, I guess it may sound like I'm encouraging y'all to at least try it. Or for those of y'all, like I said, for those of y'all who don't do it, I guess I may be sounding like I'm encouraging you to try it. But at the end of the day, curiosity exists, so you never know. And like I said, if you do the proper research, if you really pay attention, read, and understand it on a much better perspective, then it'll definitely be enough for you to basically pique your interest. So it can happen. So I figure I'd rather get this out, just to, maybe just to know a little bit more about why I do it. At the end of the day, I don't abuse it. I still love it to this day. I don't abuse it. Like I said, people just don't understand what it truly does, what THC and CBD truly does. And all I can say is just do the research and just ask more questions to the people who smoke THC. Just ask and do the research, and you'll most likely find the answers. But yeah, this will definitely be a part 2, y'all, so stay tuned for that. If you watched until the end, you're a real MVP. And I will see y'all in the next one. Alright? God bless.